If you had to describe yourself in a few sentences, what would you say?
A few sentences, huh? Trying to get better. That's a sentence I would use to describe me. Trying to get better.
How do you think the version of you right now is different from who you were a year ago?
I was at a higher place in my life a year ago. I had a job. I was fresh off of getting married. And I was moved out. I was free. Since last year, my life has taken a few turns, and not great ones. Not horrible ones either, but they weren't great. How does my life differ? It differs in almost every single way. As a person, I'm a little less lonely, so I guess that's something.
What's something about yourself that feels true today but might not be true in the future?
I think I'm at my lowest point right now, and I'm hoping that's not true in the future. It feels true. It definitely feels true. It feels like I'm at my lowest point, which, if I look at it through the right lens, means I am going nowhere but up.
If someone met you for the first time today, what impression do you think they'd get?
I guess it depends on how hard that person's looking. They could get the impression that I got everything together and, I'm happy and everything, or they could get the impression that I'm putting on a mask. I don't think either are really true. I think it's somewhere in between. People and emotions are way too complicated just to sum up with first impressions.
Do you feel like you truly know who you are, or are you still figuring it out?
I definitely don't know who I am. Who I am is so scattered at this point. I know who I used to be. I know who I want to be. Who I am, it changes daily. I'm still trying to figure out who I am right now and trying to align myself with who I want to be.
What's been on your mind the most lately?
I'm always looking at what can I do to achieve more? What can I do to be better? How can I move forward from this?
What's something you've been struggling to put into words?
There's lots of things I struggle to put into words. That's what this channel is about. It's about kind of reaching out there, figuring out how I want to say things. This is a personal diary in a lot of ways, so I'm so interconnected with myself in terms of the only person I've ever really talked to in this deep of a tone is being myself. And so I'm still learning how to kind of branch that out.
If you had to name the strongest emotion you've been feeling recently, what would it be?
Love. It'd have to be love. With my wife around, I can't feel anything but love. With how supportive and caring she is, how much she does for me, even when she doesn't need to. Yeah, I can't feel anything but love.
What's something you're still trying to understand about yourself?
A lot. Like I said, my personality is so scattered. I know who I was, I know who I want to be, and I'm somewhere fighting in the middle of that. So there's a lot I want to refigure out about myself. And that's part of what this is about, is putting myself out there, figuring out who I am.
If you could ask your future self one question, what would it be?
It would be, did we make it? Do I know who I am yet? Am I where I want to be? Financially, mentally, physically. There's a long road separating me from my future self, and I know that. So, if we're talking my far distant future self, how happy are we?
What does an average day in your life look like right now?
It's pretty boring. Um, Depends if my wife is home or not. If she's not, there's a lot of sitting around. As of recently, I have started reading a book. I've started going out a little more. I've started to try to get myself into the habit of doing, but my average day it's busy, but maybe not as busy as it should be.
What's your current favorite part of the day?
My favorite part of the day is probably when I'm getting ready. My favorite part of the day is, I don't know. The way my days are going, I can't say there really is a favorite. I enjoy almost the full day to the same degree. Highlights of my day would be when my wife would get home and I get to spend time with her, but yeah, the rest of the day is kind of just all on the same level.
What's something small that brings you comfort?
I don't really have anything small that brings me comfort. I invest more in people and places than I invest in things.
If someone followed you around for 24 hours, what do you think they'd notice about you?
Well, if someone was watching me for 24 hours, they would see all my little quirks and they would notice my humor. I hope they'd notice better things than what I would.
What's something you do now that you didn't do a year ago?
Things I do now. I'm getting back into reading. I am doing YouTube a lot more. There's a lot of things I was doing a year ago that I'm not doing today. Not very many things that are the other way around. I am improving myself and my relationships a lot more.
Do you feel like you act differently depending on who you're with?
Yes, definitely. I think just depending on context and who we're around and who we're comfortable with, we do change at least how we talk to them, if not most of our personalities.
Is there a part of you that you feel most people don't understand?
There's a lot that most people don't understand. I don't understand it all, so I can't expect somebody else to understand what I don't even understand.
How do you think your younger self would feel about who you are today?
That one's a difficult one because there's things in my life that he would be excited for and proud about, but there's a lot of stuff I was doing back then that I wish I could get back into doing. In a way, it's kind of a give and take. I've lost a lot of things, but I've gained a lot of things too.
What's something about yourself that you've recently accepted?
Myself. I've accepted myself. And something about myself is, well, I've accepted that I am the way I am, and some days I'm not so great, but I'm actively trying to get better.
Do you feel like you've become more yourself over time, or do you feel like you've lost pieces of yourself?
I've definitely lost a lot of pieces along the way between friends and jobs and different things. There was some big ones, some little ones. I mentioned it already, but my personality is a little scattered everywhere. I think I'm probably the farthest from my true self that I have been in a long time. And I'm just kind of trying to hold on to whatever pieces I still have. I'm trying to work my way back there and become me. It's a lot harder than what I kind of thought it would be.
What's a recent memory that stands out to you?
I can't really say I have one. Yeah, there's not really any super large memories that are standing out to me at this exact moment.
What's something you've experienced lately that you don't want to forget?
It's what I experience every day, and it's the unforgiving love of my wife. You know, no matter what, she is always showing me some form of love.
Do you feel like you're holding on to the past too much, or do you let things go easily?
I know I definitely struggle with letting go of some things. Other things I can let go of pretty easy. It depends on if I want to or not. And a lot of things I don't want to let go of.
Do you think you'll look back on this version of yourself fondly?
Yes. Yes, and although I think this version of myself is at my lowest, or at least I'm hoping so. I know it's an important point in a long series of points in my life.
If this version of you could leave one message to your future self, what would it be?
You have to be better. You have to be better. You have to put yourself out there and try more. Take it from me. I've kind of sunk myself as low as I can. I'm at the bottom. I'm here. You have to keep going and keep fighting it and just keep climbing. Do the stuff you want to do. Learn to let go. Learn to accept. And learn to appreciate what's still around. You have to keep going.